Hi friends, welcome to Computer Science Learners and also welcome to the new lecture series on structured query language. So in this session we are going to learn the introduction of the structured query language. So first we will understand the history of the SQL. SQL means we know structured query language. So structured query language is used to write the queries to interact with the databases. Okay, so it was developed in the early 1970s. So SQL was developed in 1970s, early 1970s, and initially it was developed by the company IBM, International Business Machines. And at that time SQL was termed as SQL language, structured English query language. Why those people call as SQL means SQL is for the databases having structure, that means structural databases. So the databases are different types: structured databases, unstructured databases and semi-structured databases. But SQL is intended for the structured databases. And in this SQL we are writing the commands. Those are like normal English words. So for that reason the term as structured English query language. Query means question. So simply we are writing the question like something in English, we will get the result. So the total SQL commands looks like a normal English sentences. So for that reason initially they termed as SQL, later it was SQL, structured query language. And in the year 1986 ANSI and ISO both officially adopted this SQL language and make this SQL language as a standard for all the database engines whichever developed around the world. So you take any Oracle, RM, SQL Server, MySQL, DB2, you take any database engine, on every database engines SQL is the common language. So from 1986 it becomes a common query language for all the databases. And from that point different versions of SQL came. So from 1986 it was officially adopted, then 1989 one more version of SQL came. From 1989 to 2006, so different versions came into the market. So this is a brief about the SQL. Now we will understand the SQL features. We know what is SQL. SQL means structured query language. So this is for the structured databases. So what is a database? Database is a collection of data. So these data can be formed logically as a table, tables. Okay, so the table consists of the particular data related to the database object. For example, you take any student. For a student there is some data, student number, student name, like that. For an employee, employee ID, employee name, job location, etc., etc. All these data is logically formed as a table. So by using SQL we can generate the tables, we can get the data into the tables, we can insert the data into the tables. It's all dealing with the tables in the database. Now coming to the SQL features, SQL is a domain specific language. Domain specific language means SQL is not a programming language. So whenever you take any application, that application which interacts with the database, definitely that application was developed by using any programming language like C, C++, Java. But to make the interaction with the databases we need SQL. So depends on the domain you are using, SQL can be added. So SQL itself is not a language. So it depends on the domain. Okay. So generally database is used as the backend for any application, and definitely that application was developed by using any programming language. So for that reason it is called domain specific language. and it is a declarative language also. Declarative language means in SQL we are writing commands to get the result. That means we are simply declaring certain commands. There is no procedural concepts like loops, conditional statements, etc. It is not a procedural language. Simply we are declaring something. It is called declarative language. So initially SQL was declarative language. Later some programming concepts are added to the SQL and make it as a programming language SQL. We call it as PLSQL. So that is not declarative language. It consists of declarative language features and programming language features. But SQL is itself declarative language. There is no programming or procedural concepts in SQL. And it provides commands, and these commands are broadly classified into data definition language commands DDL and data manipulation commands DML, data control language commands DCL, and transaction control language commands. So the overall SQL commands are classified into 4 types. On each step we have different commands that we will see in the later videos with the demonstration. And it provides keys and constraints. So we know using SQL we are going to generate tables. A table consists of certain information towards an object. For example, a student is there. For a student we can store its number, student ID, student name, marks, contact number, address, etc. etc. For certain attributes we have the same data on different students. For certain attributes we have unique data on different students. For example, maybe the student address or student state may be same for 10 students in a classroom or in a college, whatever it is. But if you observe, student number or student ID is not common for more than one student. So every student has its own identification number, that is unique. So to generate this kind of attributes, we are setting the keys for the attributes. That is the keys concept. Uniqueness, allowing null values, not allowing null values. There are different options on there. And constraints. Constraints means these are the rules. These are used to make the validation of the entries of the attributes into the table. For example, if you want to insert a particular attribute value, either you can enter any wrong value or may not be. So you can set the constraint means you have to enter the particular given value only. For example, you want to apply for a job. So that job needs the people having age from 25 to 35 only. So if that application gets your date of birth, definitely it checks the condition whether the entered person age is within that limit or not. Based on that, it may accept the request or application by the user or may not. These are the constraints. Suppose you are giving certain salary to the employee table. So the salary is, there is a limit, minimum salary and maximum salary. So you have to enter the salary in between these limit only. So these are the constraints which are for validation purpose. And SQL provides operators to do more operations on the data. Like you have to check whether the sequence of values, whether the value is in between this sequence, whether the value is available in the particular column or not, whether the value is same as the value available in the column or not. For that we have used these operators. And it provides clauses. Clauses means, suppose you are grouping more than one column, you need group by class. Like that, you want to arrange a table based on a particular column values order by class. Like that, there are different operations you are going to perform by using these clauses. You want to make distinct clause is there. So like that there are different clauses provided by the SQL. Aggregate functions. So aggregate functions are the functions which are operated on the group of values. For example, in a student table we have the total marks of all the students and I want to calculate the average marks of the students. So I have a AVG function is available. I want to get the sum of the all the column values of a particular entity. So sum function is there. Like that there are different aggregate functions provided by the SQL. And finally it provides joins and nested queries. So in real times, if you try to get values from the table, or if you try to get something that will not come from single table. For example, I want to get the department location of an employee, a particular employee. Generally in an employee table, employee information is stored and his department is stored, but the department information, complete information is not stored in employee table, it can be stored in department table. So in such situations I need two tables, I want to get data from the two tables. So like that, maybe two tables, maybe more than two tables. In such a situations we need to combine those tables and get the required result. For that purpose joins are used. Okay, using joins you can combine more than one table and try to execute the query so that we get the required result. And nested queries. So in SQL generally we are writing queries, but sometimes the single query is not needed to fulfill our requirement, so that we can write a query inside another query based on the requirement. So it is also provided by the SQL. So these are the important features provided by the SQL. So with this I am ending this session. So in the later videos we will cover all these commands and keys, operators with the demonstration. Okay. So I am ending this session. Thank you.